Zach, thank you again for coming back. 1/3 of the Journey podcast. And I always enjoy these because it's a nice little reflection, but also I think that you and I have I probably said this on every one of our episodes, but you and I have some really good, chemistry. I always enjoy your perspectives, and I think we share a lot of the same values. And I just want to say I appreciate you coming on today. I do want to start off. I was watching Naval's podcast with Chris Williamson, and
Yeah.
I thought it was an incredible. I thought it was an incredible podcast. Some people aren't able to relate to him because of the certain success and the high intellect that he has. But there was one thing that I saw, and he was talking about suffering, and they were alluding to suffering. And Chris Williams said, most people are suffering addicts. They use suffering for the proxy of progress, as opposed to being the outcome of the progress. And they essentially attach their well-being and their emotional state and a lot of their physical state to suffering.
Mm-hmm.
And how that's related to you is that you've openly talked about, your mom's passing, but then there's one video in particular, basically where you said it's a scary place to be, how everybody around you tells you how good you're doing. And then when you look at yourself and you look at it in the mirror, you feel like you're doing nothing at all. And with all the suffering that you've been through, your mom, the relationships, how would you describe your relationship with suffering?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you opened it. Well, one, thank you for having me on again. It's always good to chop it up. We always have a good conversation. And yeah, I enjoy, being on this end of it as well sometimes. And I know this will be more of just a conversation, but yeah, it's always good to talk to someone new. Yeah, you brought up like addiction. People are addicted to suffering. And I had I just had like a realization about addiction. And I think we're all addicted to something in our own way. And, you're talking about the addiction of, being addicted to suffering, like that's what you're used to. So you always find your way back there. And addiction is so hard because it gives you control. And I think people look at addiction and they relate it to you being powerless, right? You have no control because this thing is now your master. But the reason addiction gives you control is because when you do that thing, drugs, weed, porn, alcohol, whatever that addiction is, you know the way it's going to make you feel. So for a very small portion of your life, you have control on how you feel. I know if I drink alcohol, I know the feeling I'm going to get. I know if I watch porn, I know the feeling I'm going to get. If I smoke weed, if I do all these things that I'm like, that a person can be addicted to, you know what that feeling is going to bring you. So in a sense, it gives you control. And I think that's why people run there, because we don't have control for so many things in our life. But there are those certain things that usually aren't good for you that give you that control. And I think that's why it's so hard to break away from addiction. And suffering in that is hard because I think a huge reason why people are addicted to that suffering feeling is because that's all they know. And a lot of it stems from childhood, and a lot of it stems from loss and pain. And like, if that's all you knew growing up, you don't know as a child the things that you go through. You don't know how they're going to affect you later on in life. You don't know how it's going to shape you. And I think even as an adult, you don't even think about why you are the way you are. But a lot of it, if you reflect on it and you speak about it and you really like dig deep into your childhood, into your past, like those characteristics that you carry today, and maybe some that like you're not too happy about, those were birthed when you were a kid, but you don't understand it. You're just a child. But those things shape you. So I think when you go through suffering as a child, when you go through something traumatic, that it becomes like a piece of you. You're accustomed to hurt, like that is your comfort place because you hurt for so long, you don't know like how to feel good. And like with me and my mom, I mean, I think I'm just unraveling a lot of the emotions and things that it did to me that I wasn't really aware of growing up and even into my early 20s. But now I'm becoming self-aware to realize like, oh, maybe like I act this way because like mom wasn't around, or maybe, I'm this type of person in a relationship because I lost someone that I was so dear, like, that was so dear to me. Um, and I think there's a lot of these things that we can unpack from like our childhood that can help us fix our present day. But until you look in the mirror and you have to, and you're willing to go back and put yourself in those shoes, it's never going to change. If you keep doing the same thing you've been doing for the last 10, 12, 15 years, it's never going to go away. You have to face that suffering and realize that it's not you anymore, and it's not what you want to be. But I think it's just so hard for people because it goes back to that addiction and control where people operate sometimes the best out of that pain and out of that suffering. And I think that's why they continue to put themselves in situations to feel that, because that's all they ever knew. And it's not, and I think you will only realize that like when it's too late, and like you look back on your life and you're like, like I've just suffered my entire life. I've been in pain. I've been hurting. I've been every situation, every relationship I just revert back to like trauma, pain, hurt, sadness, and you have to like get out of that. It's a terrible way to live, and it sucks that a lot of people live that way. So I mean, to wrap it up with your question, like I don't think I live my life that way. I think there's certain things that I carried with me from my childhood for the things that happened to me. But I try to look at it like, all right, this is happening for me, and try to take positives from it and not like wallow in that sorrow,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because later, this is probably like the one, I think, the reason why I really enjoyed that podcast, and they talked about happiness too, is that if we just choose to be happy, Naval basically said in the podcast that he met somebody, and he was just like, you know what? There's 7 billion people out there. There's one person that's probably choosing to be the happiest person in the world,
Mm-hmm.
regardless of their financial situation, regardless of how much success they have, monetary, regardless if they are in a relationship or not. They're choosing to be happy. And why don't I just choose to be the happiest person in the world? Why don't I just choose that? And I think we don't realize how much of a conscious choice we actually have to choose happiness. And at least like when I look back at my life and the current situation that I'm in, I kind of in a way have sabotaged my own happiness just because I should be grateful for more things that I have than not. Like if I look in the studio, the lights, the mics that I have, the situation I'm in, the things that I've been able to do, the opportunities that I have, I should be grateful. But it's this type A personality that I'm not satisfied until I'm at this result. I'm not satisfied until I get to this point in my life. I'm not satisfied because of whatever reason, because of this mindset that I have that I need to make it. But then there's this other spectrum that I think about is how most people that have made it and they talk about that they rather be the other side of the spectrum. When you are successful and you have monetary success, that obviously solves that money problem. But most of the time, your public image, you're always getting shot with cameras, whatever it may be, and it's just something that I think about often, that I should be 100% more grateful for the life that I currently have and everything that I've seen, because a lot of other people either number one didn't wake up this morning, or number two, they don't have the experiences that I have. They haven't seen certain things that I have, and it's just I don't know. I kind of alluded to the place that I live now. Obviously, you saw a little bit of where I am, and I think that being there for so long has kind of shifted this mindset of where I grew up and where I'm currently living now.
Yeah.
It's two different polar opposites.
Yeah. Yeah, it's yeah, I've been doing like some reflecting on I guess becoming like a real adult, like creeping up to 30 years old. And it's wild. I saw Andrew Scholes speaking about this, and he was basically saying like he was talking about his dad, how his father has dementia now, and then he just had a daughter, and I I when I watch podcasts, I take notes. Even if it's comedian podcasts, like Andrew Scholes is a comedian, but like he can get deep. Anything I watch, like I'm trying my best now to like write things down. I think that's like good advice for people. Like if you have a thought or if you have an idea, just write it down because you're gonna forget it, and it's like you have to if that's a good thought, you want to remember that. Mm. So I wrote this down and I was like, because he was basically alluding to the fact that like his daughter was just born and now like she's growing up and like grandpa has dementia and like may not really remember her or like she's really not gonna probably get to grow up with him. And I was like, yo, we're so blind to it as children when you grow up and there's traumatic things that happen around you. Divorce, parents die, grandma dies, parents are arguing, this happens. Like there's so much trauma that happens to you in your life as a child that you just think it's regular. So you don't really understand what these adults, what your parents, what your grandparents, what your family is going through because you have such an innocent mind. And now at 28 years old, like I'm stepping into that world of where these life things are starting to happen. And it's sad, bro. It's scary that like as a child, that's just what we were accustomed to because that's what we were around. We're like, oh, like, your parents die, grandma dies, people get divorced, people cheat. And we're just like, we don't know. Like, that's all you know. You just think that's how life is supposed to be. But now at 28 years old, you look back and you're like, that's not normal, And like, these are traumatic. Like, these are fucked up things. Like these types of things shouldn't happen. Like, these things ruin families, ruin people's lives. Like, and a lot of these things are inevitable, like death. And it's so hard now to try to comprehend the things that are happening that your entire life you thought were normal, but now when you maybe start to go through them or you see those things happening around you, like, bro, those things aren't normal, Like, this is like a real dark, scary part of life that we are about to enter. And I just had the thought, like, damn, man, like we're like getting older and like these things that happened to the adults when we were children are now happening to us. Mm-hmm. And it was just, I was like, fuck, bro. And then usually when I write something down, it brings me into like a deeper rabbit hole. And now, yeah, I mean, I want to talk about this because I've never spoke about this before because it's been like a fresh thought. Shout out to Happy Dad, man.
Shout out to Happy Dad.
So when my mom died, I would always only think about how it affected me and affected my father. And our family and stuff like that, but close to home, obviously me. And there's so many different ways I could like look not look for sympathy, but maybe expect it, or like you don't know what I've been through, and then I think about all the emotions I felt and a lot of that. And bro, I don't know, like I was just sitting in bed the other night and I was like, holy shit. Like, fuck how I feel when my mom died. Think about how my mom felt while she was dying, knowing that she had to leave her son and the love of her life behind. Like, she got diagnosed with cancer and they told her, like, you only have X amount of time to live. Like, think about potentially the guilt that she felt, like, knowing, like, my son is going to grow up without his mother. You know, my husband is going to have to live the rest of his life without his best friend. And I mean, bro, that like brought tears to my eyes, like thinking about my mom in her deathbed, you know, just counting the days until like she's not here anymore. And that fucked me up, man, because I was like, I was so young and I didn't even know what these things were. And now that I'm older and like I understand life more, like I like almost put I almost put myself in my mom's shoes of like, I mean, her last couple months, they like fucked up a surgery in her voice box and her larynx, and she couldn't speak to me anymore. So like she had to write notes to me at the hospital and hand me the note. I would have to read it and then speak back to her. And I would always like feel bad for myself that I had to go through that. But now that I'm older, I've looked back and I'm like, bro, I feel so bad for my mom that she had to live her last days on earth living that way, like with her loved ones, like knowing that like her time is coming to an end. And that was it just changed my whole perspective on a lot of things with that, you know. And I was just like, damn, bro, like that shit is dark, you know. And it alludes back to like when we're kids, like, oh, like so-and-so's mom or your aunt or someone has cancer, you know. It's just like a normal thing that like you just hear when you're a kid. Like you're like, when you get older, like some people just get cancer and you just think like, oh, like it's cancer. But like now that we're older and like maybe loved ones that we have are like battling cancer, you're like, bro, this is like the most fucked up shit ever. Like you're watching someone die, you know, and we don't realize that as children, you know. And it's a blessing and a curse, because like no child should have to understand the magnitude of what that thing actually is. But also it's a curse because like it's inevitable that you are going to have to face that reality one day. And it might be someone that is like very, very close to you that you love, and you have to like watch them suffer. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
I guess putting myself in that regard, there's a couple of thoughts that come to mind. When you were experiencing that, did you feel any sort of guilt? Like, I'm so selfish. Why? Didn't want her to be here, but I didn't even think about or consider how she might be feeling in terms of, obviously she's physically ill and the timeline of what she was given, but more or less not putting yourself in her shoes to understand what she might also be leaving behind as well.
I don't think I ever felt guilt, because I don't think I knew. I was 12 years old, you know, like. Mm-hmm. I don't think I didn't feel guilty that, because I didn't know what she was going through. And I mean, now I can't put that guilt on myself, you know, because you don't know any better, you know. I think the one thing I regret, I mean, I think I wish I just like spent more time with her in the last couple months, you know. I wish I spent a lot more time with her. But I was almost scared to go there, because it didn't, like, she didn't even look like my mom anymore, you know? Like, she was 50 pounds, 60 pounds, like, you know, no hair. And it was scary to see that your mom could just, like, look totally different in, like, the span of, like, 3 months, you know? Like, it didn't even look like her anymore, and she didn't want me to see her like that. And so I think that, I mean, that's another reason why she didn't want me there that often. And then I also think about that, like, how hard is that as a mother, dying from cancer, fighting every single day to your last breath, but still putting your son first, knowing you want to see him and spend as much time with him as possible, but you don't want him to see you fight like that. You don't want him to see how you physically look. You don't want him to see you struggle. So like my mom was so strong that I'm sure every ounce of her body wanted to spend every last second with me, but she didn't want her son to have to remember his mother like how she was when she was dying. And I was just like, it's just fucking it's dark, bro. It's deep, it's beautiful. But it's yeah, it's a lot, man, And I don't think I've ever like I think I've obviously spoke about it and I can speak about it now and like but man, it's a crazy thing, bro. It's crazy to the more you dive into it, the more things you can like pull out of it. And like there's so many ways you can break it down and look at losing a parent or a loved one, anyone close to you, especially as a child, as you get older, because you start to understand life more and you don't like putting yourself there. And I think that's why I don't do it. Cause like I've just had a lot of these thoughts that we're speaking about right now in the last month. And that's because I decided to like think about her a little more, and of course I want to think about my mom, but then I also try to just accept it and try to move on because it's always like a sad thing, it's hard. I try my best to take positives out of it. And I think I've already exerted most of the positives out of it. I've used it as motivation in my basketball career and, to be successful and, make her proud and all those things that, that's the only thing you can do. But I also think, majority of it, no matter which way you try to unpack it, it's always going to be dark and sad. And, it's going to bring you to a place that, you may not want to be,
How do you view darkness and mortality now after going through that experience and kind of having some more wisdom and going through this last month and kind of observing it? How do you view that now?
I don't know, man. I'm scared as shit of death. I'm terrified to die. And the scariest things are like that unknown feeling. And I've been like dabbling with like Christianity a little bit, like going to church and trying to become more spiritual because I think that'll make my life a lot better. And I think it will help me, and I think it will give me like more of a foundation, and maybe help negate those that fear of death. But you can't. I was always like I would for a long time when I was a kid, I would jump out of my sleep in the middle of the night and then have like almost a panic attack thinking about death and like what I just felt, this like unconscious feeling where it went black, is going to happen one day, but I'm not going to wake up again. And that was a fear I had as a child for so long, like when mom died, because like she went to sleep and never woke up again. And you never heard her voice again. I never saw her again. I never spoke to her again. And like as a child, when I would go to sleep, that's the closest thing to death that we can feel right now in our human bodies. And I would jump out of my sleep and then the first thought I would have was like, damn, if that's what death feels like, I'll never like wake up from that. What I just felt, I'll never wake up. So what is that darkness? What is that just unconscious feeling? And that's a fucking scary thought to think about. So I think that's why I think like diving into spirituality and stuff like that will help me a little, will help me. And I'm super early in my walk and journey, whatever you want to call it. But I think it's something that I've been thinking about, questioning, curious about for a long time. And I think now I've like finally come to the decision that like I know this is going to make my life a lot better. Mm-hmm. So Yeah, I'm early in it. I'm curious. I'm excited about it, and I think that'll be cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You talked a little bit earlier about your approach to 30, and as I'm not there yet, as I'm turning 26 this year, you are a lot. You're getting close, and some people say that it's the best time of life. Some people say it's the worst time of life. The closer you get to it, the closer it becomes.
Mm-hmm.
How does that view change, or how are you looking at the outlook of 30?
I think people. I think a lot of people put expectations with a number age, and they say like you're supposed to be married, children, established career by this age, or you're a failure. And I think that way of thinking fucked up a lot of kids. I think it fucked up a lot of kids, especially in my generation, that we were the last generation that grew up without social media and then transitioned into social media. So we got the best of both worlds. So we still grew up playing Manhunt and street football and having, like personal interactions without the phone, and the times that you saw your friends were at school, or if you hung out outside of school or through sports or clubs, whatever it was. And then we got transitioned into the iPhone and then Instagram and Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, whatever. And I think now, obviously, a lot of kids growing up have unrealistic expectations because of what they see on the internet. Because now every time you open your phone, you see an 18-year-old or a 21-year-old driving a Lamborghini, living in Miami, living in Dubai, having chains, buying watches. And I think there's a lot of kids that are 23, 24, 25, creeping up on that 30. Like, bro, there's 18-year-olds that are crushing right now. And I'm like, I'm 28 and I don't even have it figured out yet. And then we get demoralized, and then we question our worth, and then we have doubt and then fear, and then is it ever going to work out? And I think that's a huge part of a lot of these mental health, anxiety, depression problems. Is a lot of it is stemmed from the comparison to others that you don't even know. Like, you don't know how they got to where they're at, and we take this societal pressure and place it on ourselves, and all it does is hinder us from our growth, because every day we're living out of fear, or we're living out of doubt, and you can't prosper. There's no room to grow when you're everything you do is out of that mindset. So I mean, for me, I'm not big on the age comparison thing. Like, there's certain things where I'm like, yeah, I'm 28. Maybe I wish I was a little farther along here, but I also don't. I try not to judge myself, bro, because I took a very unconventional path. So I give myself more credit in that aspect. I took a harder route, and I don't think people understand that. And a lot of people can judge of, you're a content creator, you do a podcast or something like that, whatever. If you allow, I'm watching like Paul American right now, which is Jake Paul and Logan Paul's reality TV series, and he was like, yo, like we he's like, we conceded to the fact that we're gonna get judged from everything we do, and he was like, once you can stop giving a fuck about what people think, you have the freedom to create whatever you want. People are gonna hate you regardless. So if you stop doing what you love based off of the judgment or the opinions of other people, like, what are you doing? How do you think you'll ever be successful if you're doing things to try to make someone else happy? Anything you do, 50% of people will love it and support you. The other 50% are going to talk shit, hate it, try to tear you down. If you allow either side to affect you, you're playing the wrong game. Like, you have to be so locked in with what you're doing and just cancel out the noise. That is the only thing you can do. Because in the grand scheme of things, bro, none of it matters. Like none of it matters, man. And we don't like think about that, you know? We try to just like we try to appease everyone. We try to do what other people are doing. We try to compare and just step like we like everyone has ideas. Everyone has great ideas. Everyone has great thoughts and they have this like optimistic idea of what they want their future to look like. And they want all these things. And the one thing that is holding them back from actually doing those things is starting to do the thing, you know, like to take that step. And what's holding them back is the judgment of other people, you know? So I think, yeah, that creeping up on 30 and getting older, it's not, it doesn't matter. I mean, Gary Vee does it to the extreme, you know, like, oh, you're 47, you're young, you know, like, I don't know about that, but hey, like, but it's all perspective too. Like, you know, a lot of people use like Colonel Sanders, you know, KFC, like he started at 60 or 70 years old, whatever. But it's like, well, I want to enjoy my life. I want to build something and then enjoy my life off of that. Like he died a couple years after that. So yeah, sure, his legacy lived on, but he didn't really get to enjoy the fruits of his labor. I want to enjoy it. You know, I want to live a life that I'm super proud of, that I feel like I didn't miss out on anything. So I do believe there is a time, a little bit, but I mean, bro, if you're sub 30, like, you can't compare yourself to other people, you know, like what you learn from 0 to 22 doesn't even compare to what you learn from 22 to 30. And I think people don't understand that. You know, you think you have it all figured out at 21, 22, 23 years old. You have no fucking idea. And I think once you start creeping up on 30, you start to understand so much more of life. What I'm basically trying to say is like, you start to understand like what's actually important, what matters to you, what you should spend time thinking about and working on versus what you have to let go. And the only way to do that is make a lot of these mistakes until you're 22, 23 years old. So by the time you are 28, 29, 30, and you want to start a family and you want to find the love of your life and you want to build your career and you want to build your business, or you're ready for it, you know, because of all the mistakes and all the shit you didn't know, you had to learn that to be in a different place. But if you allow other outside opinions and you allow your self-doubt to tear you down before you even get there, I mean, like you did it to yourself.
Yeah. I often think about that a lot because, you know, in coming up to this episode, I was looking back on the first time I came on your podcast and how much I've changed and grown during that time and how much I've lost and how much I've gained and how much different positions I've been in and kind of like morphed and changed in so many areas. And it's when I think about that time, you know, 21, 22, making the TikToks, everything blowing up, I'm thinking about, man, like I even said it on the podcast, you know, the next 2 years, I want to have 500,000 followers. And none of that has came into fruition. Obviously, at one point, it's detrimental because you're like, can I do this thing anymore? Is this what I'm supposed to be doing? And, you know, there's so many times where I've had the conversations with God and I'm just sitting there, you know, with eyes closed on my knees thinking about, is this the thing that I'm supposed to be doing? Because I haven't had anything of a hot streak videos coming out or whatever. Obviously, life has changed, you know, 3 years later. And it's just, I realize how it's just so insignificant to think about. Like, of course you're where you're supposed to be. Look at what you've already done. Look at the people that you've already interviewed. Like, look at all of this. And it's, you know, the famous Confucius quote, every man has two lives. And the second one is when he realizes he has one. Mm-hmm. And I'm over here thinking about all of the things that don't matter. It doesn't matter where you're currently at 25. Because by 30, by 28, by 40, you can make it. It doesn't matter. As long as you're just putting in the work every day. And I kind of had to think about and really dial in with myself. Like, this is the 1% podcast. As long as you're doing that every day, you can be happy with the results at the end because you're putting in the work. Nobody will understand. They'll never see what goes on behind the scenes. They'll never know your life story.
Yeah.
Nobody can understand your life experience or life story because you know it. They might have opinions about it. They might have statements, whatever it is about your life. But as long as you're putting in the things to be successful every day, as long as you're putting in the work, that's the only thing that matters. And for a while, like, I've never really spoken about this before, but you know, since we're here, there's been times where you're obviously way along in this podcast game than I've been. And it's been, you know, to me, you're a couple years older to me, so I look at you like a big brother. And there's been a lot of things that you've helped me with that most of the people in my life haven't helped me with, you know, besides like the close friends, all of that, and family members. But when things were happening for you guys, it was a little bit of jealousy, and it was a little bit of like admiration. Like, I want to fucking be there. Like, I want to be there with you guys. You know, it was jealousy because, like, what am I not doing that you guys are doing? And you know, you always say, like, you know, the episodes a week, whatever, do as much as you can, post the clips, post everything. And it was admiration because I wanted to be there with the big brother. Like, I wanted to be there with you guys. Right. I wanted to be there and soak up the success with you. And then I had to realize, like, yo, you're just running your own game. You're running your own race. Like, they're there, you know, the quote with, you know, Jabbar Lewis when he came on, you know, God is in the neighborhood. That quote that you've seen, God is in the neighborhood. And he might not be arriving at your door yet, but he's at a good friend of yours' door. And it's only a matter of time if the small things that you're working on, the small improvements that you make, they're going to lead somewhere someday. And it might not be when you want it. It might not be when you're putting in all this work and you're like, I'm ready. But, you know, I look back at that 21, 22, 23, when the TikTok famous came, when I achieved that, I'm not half as ready. Yeah. Because I've seen now at 25, oh, you've lost 10,000 followers on TikTok. You've lost followers on Instagram. You've lost a little bit of touch. But you now understand what that feels like. And most people never understand what that feels like because they reach it, they get there, and then the fall off happens and they're like, what happened?
Right.
But you see both sides of the spectrum. So once that happens again, because it will, and I firmly believe it'll come back, then you know how to manage it now, and you know how to maintain it. And that's the hardest thing. I think success isn't about getting it, it's about maintaining it. How can you maintain this success? And once the fall off, or you start to see some things, now you pivot, now you adjust. And I think that's what true success is finding out the key to get to the success and maintaining it.
Yeah, I saw Rogan was talking to Scholes about this, and I was like, damn, I've done that before, and it's not a good feeling. And it basically was saying, like, how you touched on, like, when we were like starting to like come up and have our success and things like that, you felt it, like this sense of like jealousy, which I think is natural. And but you have to control it. You know, you have to like nip it in the butt, especially if it's someone like you love, you know, especially if it's like someone that you genuinely fuck with. Like, you should not be jealous of them. You should have like support for them. You know, you should want to see them win. You should want to see your brothers win. Because like you said, like, bro, what goes around comes around. Like, you surround yourself with the people, you start doing the things that they're doing, right? You applied the knowledge that you learned from them to your life. Like, bro, those things will happen for you. But Rogan said when he was a young comedian, and he would go on stage and perform, then the next guy would go up and like he's watching and like he's hoping he bombs. You know, he's like almost like hoping that guy doesn't do well. And then if he did do well, like there was a bit of jealousy. And he was like, yo, that's such a bitch mindset to have. Like, praying for someone else to do bad so you can do better. Do you think God rewards that? Do you think God rewards you praying on someone else's downfall? You hope someone else fails so you can be more successful? That's such an awful way to think. Like, anyone that is doing what you're doing, that is in the same field as you, like, you should want to see them win. You should want to see them be successful. You don't have to look at them as competition, because like you can take pieces from what they're doing and apply it to you to make you more successful in your own way. But what do you think that mindset does, where every time you do something and then someone else does the same exact thing, you hope they do bad? Like, that is such an awful way to think. It's such a unmasculine way to think, to like hope another man does bad. And I did that in basketball a lot, like, which is a cutthroat thing. But like, bro, I was in JUCO, and I was like, my freshman year, I was like the sixth man. I started of, like 8-9 games. I was fighting for playing time. Like my first 5 games, I didn't play at all. And I mean, bro, like, think about that. You have a dream, and there's someone in front of you that is stopping you from even having the chance to chase that dream. Subconsciously, we want to see that person not do well so we can get the opportunity to hopefully, make the most of it. And I did that in basketball. Like, if there was someone starting in front of me, I'd be on the bench for my own team, right? The idea is to win the basketball game, and I was almost like subconsciously like hoping he would turn the ball over or get 2 quick fouls so I could get my opportunity. Because at the end of the day, like, I want to win. I'm in junior college. Like, I need to get a scholarship. Yes, you're my brother. I fuck with you. Like, I love you. We fight and we grind every single day. But I know if you mess up, I can step in, and now I get my opportunity. But I don't think that's the way to operate. You shouldn't hope someone else does bad so you can have the opportunity to do good. You should just put the work in every single day, and that's how you build confidence. Trust your work. So if the opportunity arises, whether someone does bad, someone gets hurt, whatever it is, you are ready for that moment. But I think when you're operating out of that mindset of like praying someone else doesn't do good and fails so you can step in and fill their shoes, I think that's an awful way to think. And I think God does not reward that. I think God rewards your work and your commitment and your discipline and rewards the things that you do when no one else is watching. So when he gives you that opportunity, you're ready for it. But to get that opportunity, you shouldn't have to hope someone else fails, because I don't think that's a healthy way to think, and I don't think you'll ever get rewarded for that. I really don't.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I do want to apologize because I never told you it. I never.
I mean, bro, that's a natural thing. I appreciate the apology, but like, I mean, bro, that's a natural thing. Yeah. I mean, bro, what do you think? Like, I'm sure I really don't remember, but what do you think? Like, maybe Jake and I were thinking when you came on the pod the first time with 150,000 followers, and we're just starting this TikTok thing, and then we spoke to you, like, we didn't really know each other yet. I'm sure there was like sense of jealousy, like, bro, you're talking about brands and speaking in front of crowds and filling arenas and all this stuff, and like, I'm like, bro, like, we speak like just as well as him, like I think we're just as, knowledgeable, or we can help people too. I'm sure there was those thoughts. I genuinely don't remember. Like, it's been a little while. Yeah, but I'm sure there was thoughts of that, or conversations that Jake and I had of like, why does he have 150,000 followers and we can't even get one clip over 10,000 views? Mm-hmm. I think it's natural. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't I appreciate the apology, but you don't have to think about that ever again. It's like, it's all good.
No, I mean, it's just because, I do love you guys, and it was never that feeling of like, oh, I wish they fail. I was always I want them to fucking kill this shit. Like, every interview I would always check in and say, how did it go? And how was it? Like, how did it turn out? All of that thing, because I was genuinely curious, and I always want you guys to succeed.
No, I know, and you said that, and you said it also led to ambition, which I love. That like it helped you, want to be better. And bro, I already know that, bro. Like you're one of the people that like support us the most. Like you're always, and it's personal. It's not just like some like TikTok comment. It's like, bro, you're texting me, checking in and stuff like that. And no, I appreciate that. Like it doesn't go unnoticed. I know sometimes like, bro, I'm fucking busy, and like I feel like you do that like with your brothers. Like at least for me, like, and I want to do a better job of that. Like I could be maybe cold or distant at times, like not to you like specifically, but just in general to people I'm close with, because I think it's not going to affect the relationship. So when you like send me like a really like nice text message, or you're showing love, or you're giving support, maybe I don't like reciprocate it the way I would do a stranger, because like it's like we know, like, bro, we have love for each other, it's all good. Like I don't have to like and like even with that, like I feel like maybe that's something I wanted to tell you at times, where like I do appreciate the support, but like I want you to treat me and like our like my boys and everyone like, bro, like we're like family. It's not like you don't have to like go above and beyond to like prove your support to me. That's how like I genuinely like sometimes I'll be like, I'm like, bro, like, I'd rather you be like say something fun. Like to me that's more love, because I get the like, oh, I'm so proud of you. You know, that all the time from like strangers or people from messages and stuff like that. So I'm almost like desensitized to it. So that's why I'm saying where sometimes like that's why I need to do a better job. Like I don't always reciprocate maybe the love you're giving me back, or like the appreciation, but like I always do see it, bro. Like I know, like, bro, like you said, like, bro, like you're my little brother. Like, bro, we're in it now. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, like you'll be at my wedding. You know what I'm saying? Like you'll be in the groomsmen, you know, like, so it's, yeah, but I think people, you know, I think people do that to a fault. So like I'm trying to get better at that too. But bro, I get it. You know what I'm saying? I see it, bro. I know you always supported us, and like, bro, I never questioned it once. So I do appreciate the apology. If like, God forbid, I was fucking, some people may be hurt by that, you know, and I think that's fucking corny. But I'm not, you know what I'm saying? Not at all. I never second guessed your loyalty or fucking trust once.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
Yeah, no. It's just because, you know, I've been reflecting on my life a little bit more, and trying to answer those questions for myself, like why. It's just, you know, curiosity of what's missing, or maybe just what's not missing.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, when you see, and you probably feel this as well, similar to this point, like when you see other people and their podcast, or the way that they're shooting it, and you know, I've even dealt with it, like, you know, over these past couple months, about being treated as if you know nothing, or you don't have knowledge in certain areas of your life that you can provide value for.
Right.
And you're kind of looked at as like, you know, you're just new to this, you don't know anything.
Yeah.
But more or less you have more value and understanding of certain things. And it makes me feel like it's kind of motivation in a way, where there's this feeling of people think that you are inadequate, but you have more qualifications or achievements in certain areas of your life. Not egoically, like I'm this spectrum, you're this spectrum, but more or less that I've accumulated all of these things and worked on these things, and, you know, collaborated with certain type of people, that I have knowledge in certain areas. And that's been something that I've kind of been dealing with over the past couple months, is, you know, understanding that you're in this space for like a reason. And just because somebody doesn't acknowledge it, or they don't give you affirmations because of, oh, the little pat on the back, that doesn't mean that you're not knowledgeable in certain areas. And it's definitely been like daunting. It's definitely been something that I've had to like reiterate within myself, and kind of keep that, you know, it doesn't really matter. You know, you know what you're doing, you know? So that's just been, you know, kind of something that, you know, I've been kind of thinking about and contemplating on, is just knowing that you're in the right spot and you're in the right space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
Yeah. How have I do want to talk about relationships, I think.
Awesome. Yeah, let's do it.
You know, as haven't been in one for some time now, What
do you
is
mean I've been in a relationship for some
well,
time now? I haven't been in a relationship in over a year.
yeah, but I mean it's some time,
Well, you're saying I haven't been in
Yeah,
one for
haven't. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said
No, no,
I
no,
thought
no,
you said
no, no, no,
have
no,
been
no, no,
in
no,
for
no.
something. Like, what the fuck are you talking
No,
about?
no, no. Haven't been in some relationship for some
yeah.
time now.
Yeah.
And you've talked to a lot of people in terms of, relationship coaches. You obviously talk about it a lot with, Jake and John.
Yeah.
How has your view on love changed since the last time you've been in a relationship?
I think the only way you can truly love someone is when you can fully be yourself. I think if there's someone that can like bring out that inner child in you, and I think there's someone that truly you want to be better for, I think that changed my perspective of love, of understanding. Like, I think that's what I want. I think I want someone that I can truly be myself with, and I don't have to think about if they're going to judge me or if they're going to, if they're going to, if they're going to try to change me. I don't need someone to change me. I need someone that's going to like accept me for who I am and where I can just be myself. I don't want to think twice. And I think that's what love really is like when you can find someone that you have a real connection with, that you can be who you truly are. And you can also, of course, there's going to be things that you have to work on, and there's things that you have to make adjustments for. But at the end of the day, I feel like if there's someone that can bring out that like inner child, that playful side, that authentic side, someone that you can be absolutely vulnerable with and cry with and have deep conversations for hours that feel like 10 minutes, like that's love,
Mm.
That's your person. That's the person that you should be with. And I think we get blinded by looks and expectations and potential, and we spend too much time with the wrong people, with the wrong intentions, with the wrong mindset, with people that we can't be ourselves. And I think I've been that in a lot of relationships. I couldn't be myself. And it's like no wonder it didn't work out, whether they left me or I left them. Of course, because it's not real, I think the word the love word is thrown around so much, and it's just it's been it's lost its value. But I think like true love, I mean, bro, it's unexplainable. You can't really put words into what it makes you feel. You can't try to fabricate what that thing actually is. It's a feeling. And it's like when you really like when like when you have that connection with someone, you don't have to second guess it. You just go with what feels right. You trust your intuition, you trust your gut, you trust with what feels right. And yeah, bro, I really like, I think like you don't have to question love, like, you truly know when someone is the right person for you. But I think we get into relationships with people and we set an expectation or put a potential on what we think they could be, and there's clear-cut signs a month, 2 months, 3 months in that they're not your person, but we think that they can change or we can change them, and you can't. Like, now you're just building a deeper bond with someone that you're not going to be with. And it's fucked up. Like, why do we do that? Like, I think people need to do a better job of understanding that, like, hey, this isn't my person. I don't think you can be with someone for 3, 4, 5 years, 2 years at that. I don't think you can be with someone for 18 months and not know if that's your person. I think if you go past 18 months, and you're not ready to like give that person everything, bro, that's not your person. You know? That's not the person that you should be with. In that time frame, you guys have experienced almost every single thing that you can experience outside of maybe marriage and having a child. So it's like, you know if that's your person or not. And I think that's why the divorce rate is so high, because you spend 18 months, 2 years with someone and you're so comfortable with them, but that's not really your person. So then whether it be 3 years or 20 years down the road, of course it was going to end, because you never had that full belief that like, this is the person I want to spend the rest of my life with. And I think you only know that, you know, you and one other person will only know that feeling. And until you get there, you can't force it with someone else, because you may be wasting time with the wrong person. And I think that's a key indicator for a man, is like when there's a woman that truly makes you want to be better. I mean, what else can you ask for? You know, what is pretty girls and girls with clout or what does any of that mean if it doesn't like change your heart? And I think if there's a woman that can genuinely change your heart and make you a better man, like, you have to look into that. Even if she's not the one, you have to look into that of like, why is this making me feel this way? And I think that's what most men look for in a woman. There's a bunch of pretty girls out there. There's a bunch of good-looking girls. But what is their heart like? You know? What are their morals? What are their values? Like, what are they going to add to your life? And I think if there's a girl that like genuinely has like a good heart, and you can tell that she's going to be a great mother, and you can tell that she'll make a great wife, and you can tell, and you just have this gut instinct feeling that she could be the one, you have to explore that. And you can't let that opportunity pass you, because like opportunities in life are like a window that opens, and sometimes that slit is so small it closes and it never opens again. And you'd be a fool to not at least try, at least explore it. And that's the crazy thing about love, is like, I saw the divorce lawyer talk about this, where he said like to love anything is absolutely insane, because of the pain that you know it's going to bring you inevitably. You know how much this thing is going to crush you, whether it comes to losing them and they're still on this earth, or losing them to death. But you still do it anyway, because like that love that you have for someone, that's what we all want. At the end of the day, like the human connection, like what we want out of someone, it's all driven by love. Knowing that one day we're going to have to let this person go. We know that this person is going to die, or they're going to leave me. And you still sign up to love that person. And I think that's why love is so scary and so beautiful. But at the end of the day, it's what we all want.
Mm-hmm. Cheers to that.
Cheers, brother. I don't even know.
Cheers to that.
There we go.
Cheers to that. How you doing?
Yeah, bro. How are you with relationships? Fuck, I want to ask that. I mean, I heard you listen to a little fucking, I don't know if I'm putting it out here. Maybe we'll take it out. A little voice note in the car. A little voice note. Guy put the volume a little low. He was holding it up to his ear. Said, yeah, I'm going to work out. I heard it, bro. I had the music playing, but I heard it. Yeah, how's your? Because I know, I mean, obviously, bro, you went through, I don't know if you would consider it a heartbreak, but obviously you went through, relationship struggles, man, with someone that you cared about, you spent time with. I mean, bro, you guys were posting each other, whatever. How are you with that now? And then, like, what is your, I guess, flip the question to you, you know, how has your perspective on love changed? And what is it, like, where are you at with all of that?
If she watches the episode, definitely gonna let her know that we talked about it. But
the new girl, Oh, okay, I was gonna say the other one. Oh, fuck what she. Sorry.
I think you hit the nail on the head on truly being accepted. And I as I was reflecting, I literally just had the conversation the other day, is that I don't believe I have been truly accepted in a relationship. I think for some time, duration of the relationship, I was accepted and I was embraced and I was this person that was desired in a relationship. But I think after they got to know me, after they got to know who I am, my little quirks, my, you know, I mean, you want to call it an excuse or not, ADHD, like that obviously has effect on my life, that has effect on another person's life, because there's certain things like, did you remember the 50 millimeter? And I told you, and I'm just sitting here looking at like, no, I forgot. And certain things that people might not understand about me, that happens. Like I lack common sense. I'm not there all the time. So I say that to say that I don't think I've truly been accepted in a relationship. And I think that I've always had to morph myself into a version that they wanted.
Yeah.
And change myself and whatever their perception of this person is, whoever Avi is, whatever they see on social media is, or their perception of what they want their partner to be, their lover to be. That's what I morphed myself into. And I realized that I'm doing a bigger disservice to myself, because then I'm trying to figure out who is this guy and trying to put myself as this guy. But I'm Avi.
Yeah.
I overthink, and I enjoy that about myself. I've come to understand and come to learn in this one book that I'm reading about, critical thinking and all that that's just who you are, right? If you overthink, if you overanalyze certain things, if you enjoy thought, if you enjoy thinking about life or whatever it might be, then that's who you are. And why would I defer that? Because if I defer that, then I don't love myself, because then I can't accept myself.
Right.
People accept other people who accept themselves, and they would not want to change that barrier. They wouldn't want to change that person for anybody. If there's core values that you have, core characteristics, you're going to stand on those core values and characteristics. And the minute that you stand off, that's where you lose respect, because maybe you don't respect yourself. Maybe you don't have enough boundaries for yourself as you might think. So there are certain characteristics, certain things within myself that, maybe I can't change. Maybe this is just my brain chemistry.
Right.
Maybe this is just how I am. And there are certain things, certain values or certain ways of viewing certain things, anything that's perception based or any way of thinking based, that you can change. But if there's certain values and characteristics that you have and you stand on those, and that's just like these certain non-negotiables for you, then why am I going to alter that? Why am I going to change that?
Yeah.
And I shouldn't want to.
Yeah.
I am who I am in certain areas. And the right person's going to love that, because they might be like, all right, yeah, you think about everything about all this, but guess what? I love that. Why am I going to change certain things about myself if somebody is going to love it? And if that takes me a little bit longer to find that person, if it takes me a little time to find that person, so be it. But I'd rather be in a relationship where I'm fully understood to a certain extent, because I don't know if you can fully understand a person, but to the best of their ability, they understand who you are and how you operate and how you work. And I don't know if I found that, because none of those relationships worked out. But that's what I want now, is to be fully understood, even if you don't understand.
Yeah.
And this is who I am, and this is how I'm going to come, and this is how I'm going to embrace myself. And if you embrace me, then you embrace me. But if you don't, you don't. But to that James Sexton point, I think to love anything it's fucking diabolical.
Yeah.
It's literally the one thing that, regardless of, love is one of those things that regardless of what language you speak, that's the thing that you want. Yeah. You could speak any other language in the world, but love is a universal thing. We all seek that. We all want it. at some point. Regardless if you want kids or not, that's up to you. But we all know we want love. We want to be loved. We want to love another person. More importantly, love another person. We want that.
Yeah.
So love it's a crazy thing, but it's a thing that we all seek and all desire.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard. Like I was in yeah, it's crazy like the way things happen. I don't know. I mean, bro, hey, this thing is super fresh. But like I feel really good about it. But I've been like standing on like I'm not looking for a relationship. I'm not trying to be tied down. I'm trying to focus on myself. I saw what relationships did to me. I did this whole thing, right? Like I'm not dating, I'm not doing all that. And then it's like when that person like comes into your life, like all that shit goes out the window. And it's like, oh, like this feels right. So I think like the same things you say you can't do for someone right now in your life are the same things that you can actually do for the right person. I think you tell yourself, I'm not ready. I can't do this. I don't want to be in a relationship. It's because the people you're speaking to, they're not who you're supposed to be with. They're not who you're connected to. And then when that right one comes in, all of that nonsense kind of goes out the window. And you're like, oh, like I am ready. Like I do want to be better. I can change. Like this feels right. And you get that feeling of like when you know. And it's such a cliche saying, but I feel like when someone comes into your life and you don't have to question it at all, like what else are you asking for? Where else are you going to find someone that makes you feel like you want to change, to be better, to like especially as a man, like men know when they have to change parts of them to be the right man for a certain woman. We know that. For the wrong woman, we refuse to change. We stay in that mindset, in that egotistical construct mindset of like, this is who I am right now. It doesn't matter. But when that right girl like creeps in, I mean, bro, like we like our walls break down and we're like, oh wait, like I can change. I want to change because like I know if I want to keep this girl, if this is really like the one for me, if this is the woman I'm going to spend the rest of my life with, like I have to change. And I'm not changing because I have to. I'm changing because I want to. For her and for myself. If there's a woman that can like genuinely make you better as a man, bro, you have to like keep her, you know what I'm saying? You have to do that. Because not often do men get swayed by a woman to genuinely change their life for the better. But if there is a woman that comes into your life and changes your heart, knowing you have to be better for her, what else do you want? What else are you looking for? You tell yourself you want marriage, you want a family, you want to be happy, you want to experience love, but you're out chasing the wrong shit. And then when that woman presents herself in your life, you have the decision to make that choice. And now you have to look yourself in the mirror and be like, do I say what I want? Is it really true? That's up to you. But I think if you can say, yes, that is true. This is what I want. I want to find the woman of my dreams. I want to start a family. I want to be happy. I want to spend the rest of my life with one person. I want to build something that no one else understands. You got to change. You have to change.
It's because of men we've been sold this idea that you can't be successful without a woman. You can't be successful with a woman. So we've been sold this idea of
because we've been with the wrong women.
Yeah. We've been sold this idea. And we talked about it on that episode with The Journey. We've been sold this idea. And part of the reason why I asked that question is because during that time, I'm thinking about it. Can we be successful without a woman? And that was the whole consensus of the question, is that can this be tangible and possible? And we've been sold that you have to be by yourself. You have to be this lonely chapter. You have to be in this lonely chapter, which holds truth. I do believe it holds truth. I think if there's something that you want to build in this life, you have to have this period of isolation, of people that you won't be able to see, of certain things. And I mean, you and I have both been in that chapter.
Yeah.
And you can only go so far by yourself. You can go only so far by yourself, but you need other people to uplift you and get you to that next spot. Whether it's a partner, whether it's people around you that are seeing your vision, you need to be surrounded by other people that are going to see this end picture for you.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been sold this idea of you can't do that. You can't. You can't be with a woman and also have success. You need to compromise one or the other. And how dumb does that sound of how many videos I've seen of Alex Hormozy? Great example. You know, there's so many other examples that you can see that aren't this red pill social media, of how many other people that have a relationship that it's actually made them better. It's actually made them better as people.
Yeah.
And now you're with them, and now they uplift you, and you know what? Maybe you get to that destination a little bit faster. Maybe that's the thing that happens. Maybe it's the missing piece to your puzzle. Maybe it's the missing piece to this whole question of, will I be successful? Maybe. There's no truth to it. There's not any fallacies to it. But there is a question: can this happen? Can we be in a relationship and still be successful? And personally, the videos that I've seen, the things that the mega successful people have done it. And it's something that we're all searching for. So there's a list of boxes that we have within our life that we want all these things. You find that person, that box is checked off. Yeah. Now it's up to you on what are the other boxes that you're still looking for.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, to play devil's advocate a little bit to that, it's just like, I think a lot of men think that way, and I think a lot of like the red pill or like that side paints that narrative that you can't be successful if you're entertaining a woman and stuff like that, is because I think men do a poor job of picking the right woman. You know, I think there is a very small and select few of women that can genuinely uplift and be the right one for a man when he's on his trajectory to be successful, when he's grinding, when he's building his business, when he's trying to build this empire, when he's trying to be everything he wants to be. Not all women can be that woman for him. Mm-hmm. And now, is he going to find that right one during that time period? I don't know. But I think that's where that idea of that, like, as a man, if you want to be successful, you can't be in a relationship, or you can't be, giving your mental energy and your time to a woman. Because a lot of these women fuck men up. A lot of these women are a distraction to men. A lot of these women are with men for the wrong reasons. And a man can be deceived by a woman's looks and their beauty and the way that they act and their energy, and maybe it's sex, and maybe it's the idea or the perception of the public. That's what fucks up the man, because now he falls for the wrong woman as he's on this path to success, and she tears him down with him because she wasn't the right one for him. But I think if you can genuinely find the right one, like Hormozy said with Layla, where he told her, it's okay if you leave me. Like, I won't judge you. I get it. Like, I'm fucking up. And she was like, if we have to sleep under a bridge, I'll be right there with you. If you can find that type of girl, yeah, fucking lock her down.
To the fucking moon.
Lock her down.
Yeah.
Because I think that's, at the end of the day, that's all a man truly wants. Like, if a woman is saying, like, I'll sleep under a bridge with you if we have to, no matter what, like, we're going to figure this shit out until the end. What else do you want as a man? We deal with so much shit and pressure and stress and anxiety, and we're always trying to provide, and we're always trying to make everyone else's life better. And even in our darkest times, if there's someone that can tell you, like, I'm here for you no matter what. Like, if you lost everything, I'm not going to go anywhere. Like, we're going to figure this shit out. We are going to figure this shit out. That's what we want. That's what we want as men. We don't need the girl that is there to provide everything and pay for her bills and pay for her nails and take her out to dinner and take her out to vacation so she can post on Instagram so her friends think she's lit. That's what a lot of these women are. Bro, it's all for show. They see a man and they see him as an opportunity to make their life better. But are you making his life any better? When you're with someone, bro, it's a commitment. It's a connection between two people. I think the male and the female should both provide different things. I believe in gender roles, but I think both people have to hold up their end of the bargain. I think both partners have to provide in the way that they provide the best. And if it's one-sided and the man is providing everything and the woman is just living the life of her dreams, but she's not doing anything for you, she's not helping you in any single way, and she's causing you emotional stress and taking you away from what you truly want in your life, why are you with her? You can't be with a girl because she just looks good. You can't be with a girl because society thinks you're cool because you got a beautiful woman by your side. Can that woman emotionally connect to you? Can you actually have a bond? Can you actually have a real conversation with her outside of the surface level shit? Can you have a deep conversation where you guys talk about vulnerable and personal shit? And does she see the world the same way you see the world? Do you guys look at life from the same lens? I think that's what men truly want the most. Yeah, we all are attracted. We are physical creatures. We are attracted to beautiful women. But how often do we get deceived by beauty and we get them and they fucking torment us mentally because they're not who we're supposed to be with? And I'm not saying a beautiful woman can't provide for you mentally, spiritually, emotionally. Of course they can. But you can't settle for the one that just looks good, but she fucks with your mental every single day because she's taking you away from where you actually want to be. So when that one comes in that makes you feel at peace and makes you feel like you can truly be yourself and you don't have to second guess, stress, question anything, what are you waiting for? Why are you not ready to change? If you say you truly want to be with someone for the rest of your life and that's what you want.
Who is Zach?
I mean, I think I'm just a dude that's trying to figure it out, just trying to do the right thing, trying to be a good person, trying to help people, trying to find my way, trying to figure out all the things I did wrong, trying to figure out why I did those things. I think I'm someone that overthinks. I think I'm someone that I'm my own worst enemy sometimes, and I think I'm also my best friend at points. I think it's just I think it's really a journey, not to be cliche, but like I think that's why like the podcast I was called to name it The Journey, you know. And I think we all are on a journey just of trying to figure ourselves out, and I think we're constantly changing. I think we're constantly evolving. I think we learn so much from the relationships and friendships and interactions that we have with people. And I really do think that I have a really big purpose in life, and I'm just trying to fulfill it. And I'm not trying to let anyone down or let God down or let my loved ones down. And I think that if you can figure out that you have been called to have a purpose bigger than you, you got to do your best to fulfill it, because not everyone is called. I think that's a big thing with just like intuition and your time alone is realizing that, like, bro, like you were chosen, like you were chosen to do something that's so much bigger than you. So I think I'm just trying to right now, who am I? I'm trying to figure out, who do I have to be to do what I'm supposed to do? And that's a battle every single day. And it's hard. And it's filled with temptation. It's filled with bad habits. It's filled with questioning your self-worth. And it's also filled with a bunch of good things. So I think it's just a lot of just learning who we are as we get older and as we experience more. It's just, I think if you can truly know yourself, you truly have a real connection with who you are and an understanding of, like, all right, like I have a good grip of who I am. I trust my work. I trust my habits. I trust what I do when no one's around. I think that is a key indicator of, like, that you're well on your way. I think a lot of people escape that.
Mm-hmm.
They use what we started this with. People use addictions and bad habits and escape mechanisms to veer them away from who they truly should be, because they're afraid of who they could be, because they're so comfortable with the suffering of what they know and the pain of what they cause themselves. They stay there. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be that person that stays in the sorrow and the self-pity and the doubt and the fear. What kind of life is that? Why do you want to live like that? You have the choice to get yourself out of that. Now your actions, your decisions, your habits, you have the choice to change. But are you going to change? That's up to you.
Mm-hmm.
And only you know that. No one else can make you change.
Mm-hmm.
They can give you something, that they can present something that makes you want to change. And maybe you have to change. But at the end of the day, you have the choice whether you want to go this way or go that way.
I think, kind of how you started it with the whole conversation that you have with yourself, your own best friend and your own worst enemy. Some of the clips, like I alluded to, hearing that and knowing you, I obviously don't know what goes on in your mind, so I'm never able to say that. Say, what's right, wrong, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I think when I do hear it, and knowing you for some time now, it I don't want to say it hurts me that you talk to yourself that way, but like, I know that you give yourself a lot of BS. Like, I know you give yourself a lot of negativity. And for some that hear you, it could be very, like, damn, this guy might like hate himself or something. And I can see that spectrum. And how's that part of your relationship with self been?
Yeah, I think it's
because sometimes I feel like that I have that voice as well, and sometimes I feel like I need that voice.
No, you need that voice, but it's like when you've tasted a little bit of success and something that you've built from the ground up, and you still haven't really given it your all, you question yourself because you're like, am I even really deserving of this? Because like there was so much more I could have done. There's so much more I still could do every single day that I don't have the willpower to do. Like, I say I want these things, but I don't actually fucking do the things that are going to get me there. So I think that's when a man like questions himself. Because from the outside perspective, you could look like you're doing all right, but only you know if you're doing enough to be that person. And I think that's where the questioning the self-worth, and that's where self-doubt, and that's where you look at yourself in the mirror and you're not really proud of who you are, is because you know what you're capable of. We all know our potential and what we're actually capable of. But are we willing to do those things and go to those measures to reach that height? Very few do. And I think that's why I kick myself when I'm down, is because like I know I can be better, man. Like I know there's so much more for me to do. Like, and I don't do it, and I don't know why. There's some type of mental block that is keeping me there. And there's like a part of me that knows like, hey, like if you do those things, you'll be well on your way. You'll be well on your path. Like you'll get those things that you dream of. But I don't do them because it's like what I'm doing is like just enough to get the praise from the outside perspective, or you know, like people think I'm doing enough. Only you know if you're doing enough. If you're doing things to make other people feel like you're doing enough, you are not doing enough. Because you're doing it for the validation of someone else. But if you can do what you have to do every single day and be disciplined and create good habits and be that actual, like be the person that you dream of, even if you don't have the things that you dream of, that is who you are supposed to be. But if you're doing it for other people and for the wrong reasons, you're playing the wrong game. We try to get our self-validation from outside perspective, from the outside opinions of other people to validate us, to make us feel better about ourselves. But only when you put your head on the pillow at night, only you know if you did enough. You could tell people all you want. You could tell people all the things you do, how hard you work. It's just noise. Just words. Now, can you put your head on the pillow and be like, yo, I did every single thing I could possibly do today to get to where I tell everyone I want to be? Only you know that.
Yeah.
So that's a battle I have every single day.
Yeah, but bro, like, I get it. I understand it. But bro, like, I've been, obviously truthfully honest, but bro, you've done so many incredible things. Like, and I'm not just saying that because fuck the cameras, bro. I'm not saying that.
Mm-hmm.
But bro, this idea that you had a couple of years ago and where you started and where you're at, bro, it's incredible. It's literally incredible. Like, think about it. You know how hard it is to truly have a personal brand, build something from the ground up, no help, doing it for what, 1.5 years, 2 years by yourself? Bro, you know how hard that is. And I'm not saying it because I'm just fucking saying it. Bro, I'm saying it because it's the truth. Bro, you build what you currently have to what it is. Without you, the Journey podcast is nothing, bro. Nobody knows about the Journey podcast.
Yeah.
Nobody does. And like I'm saying it, yeah, I mean what I said earlier and the truth that held, but bro, you're inspiring people.
Yeah.
You inspire me. You inspire me. You inspire how many other people want to start a podcast now that watch your videos.
Yeah.
I've seen what you do. And I understand it doesn't matter what I say, what anybody else says until you embrace or accept that. But bro, you've built this 20 million, bro, how many likes in the last year, bro? You built that. You built the 21 plus subscribers, 21K plus subscribers. Bro, you built over the 500,000 followers on TikTok.
Yeah.
You've built all of it.
Yeah.
None of it happens without you. None of it happens without you. And like, I'm saying this because a part of me feels called to say, because this is how I would probably talk to myself.
Yeah.
You've done it. You've been building it, and you're not done yet. Nowhere near.
Yeah.
But bro, the things that you've done, the things that you've built, nobody can say that. As long as you've been doing it by yourself, and there's still some things that you do by yourself, bro, you're doing it.
No, I know. No, I know.
But do you know? But do you know though?
I do, but I think that's where a sense of complacency can creep in.
Yeah.
Where like that's the most viral clip that you spoke about. Like, people can tell you how good you're doing, but like, if you know that you can do more, what does other people telling you you're doing good matter?
But
if you can't look at yourself and say like, yo, you're doing enough, you're doing good, 1,000 people telling you you're doing good, it doesn't fucking matter. And I think that's what we're all chasing. Like, we subconsciously chase the opinions and validation from outside, but all we really want is to be accepted by ourselves. All we want to do is know that I could look in the mirror and be like, I'm proud of that guy. Like, you're doing everything you could do. You could look back 10 years from now and be like, at 28 years old, thank you. Thank you for doing everything you did for me to be in this position right now. I think that's what we all want. And I get it. Like, I don't squander the fact that I've inspired hundreds of thousands or millions of people. I don't. Like, I get it. Like, I've done probably 3, 4, 500 million views across platforms, like, over the years. Almost 1 billion views. I've obviously helped a lot of people. I've obviously touched a lot of people. And I appreciate that. I'm very grateful for that. But that's what I will say. And like, I mean, that's kind of what we were talking about with the outside perspective. Like, bro, like, if you're driven by like what you do for other people, I feel like you stop. And I think it's like a blessing and a curse, or a blessing in disguise that I feel this way about it. But like, I don't know. I'm not satisfied with that. I'm going to continue to do it. I've never thought about stopping. Genuinely, I've never thought about stopping, or like, so like, I'm cool with that. Like, I know what I've done. I know what I've built. I'm proud of what I've built. I am proud of it. It's not like I'm not happy with what I've done. I mean, bro, think about this. Like, I started this in my backyard and hired a music producer that had a camera and a boom microphone in between me and my first guest ever. You know, that's where this thing started. To watch people pay on a subscription platform like Patreon to listen to us weekly, and go on Spotify and YouTube and TikTok and send our stuff out. And I mean, I just saw a clip today. I mean, someone messaged me like the other night, like, yo, you absolutely changed my perspective on life. I saw this clip of you. I had to send it to you. And they send me it. I never saw the clip. It's fucking Morgan Freeman when he was playing God. And then it cuts to me. It's like a picture. It's a clip of Morgan Freeman when he was God in a movie. I forgot what movie it was. And then it cuts to me. And she said, like, yo, you completely changed my perspective on life. And like, just from a clip of seeing me speak. And I'm like intertwined with Morgan Freeman. But that's what I'm saying. Like, if anyone is still here at the hour and 40 mark, whatever it is, like, bro, like, you being on a clip with Morgan Freeman, it doesn't fucking matter. That's what I'm trying to say. And I think, like, I understand, like, what these super successful people say. Like, when they're like, the money doesn't matter, the fame doesn't matter, like, it doesn't fucking matter. I've got, like, a very small taste of it. I go out a lot and I get recognized. I do. A lot of people come up to me. They're like, yo, you from the podcast? Yo, I've seen you on TikTok. Yo, you helped me. Like, bro, I love that. I appreciate that. I'm very grateful that I've helped people and touched people. But That shit doesn't matter. And I think people get sucked into that idea of that if you are appreciated and valued by outside people, that your life is good. That's not true. Or that you're successful. That is not true. You define your success. You define what it is, what it is to be a good person. Only you know that. People get deceived by how society treats them, and they let it become their identity. If you can separate yourself from how outside people look at you versus how you look at yourself, that is when you find out who you truly are. But if you are so swayed by what other people say about you, and then you subconsciously start to believe it, you're going down the wrong path. So I try not to ever let other people's opinions like change how I feel about myself, even if it's good. The good opinions are fucking, they're crucial, because you can get like this, you can put on rose-colored shades and start to look at your life how other people view you. But unless you truly believe how other people feel about you, it doesn't matter. You know? Yeah. That's what it is. I mean, bro, you'll get there. Like, bro, you keep doing this shit, you'll see, like, it doesn't matter. I'm telling you from first perspective. Like, bro, we have 550,000 followers on TikTok. We've done 300 million views, 400 million views. I mean, combined with Jake and fucking John and everyone, close to a billion views.
Yeah.
We've done, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're doing the things that everyone else wants to do. But it doesn't really, like, it doesn't change that much. And maybe it is a gratitude problem. Maybe it is something that, like, I struggle with gratitude and appreciation for what I have. Absolutely. I'm not saying that, like, I'm perfect with that. But I'm just saying, like, I don't know what's gonna, I guess, truly get me there.
Yeah.
Yet.
I mean, as I haven't seen not even a fraction or a molecule of what you guys accomplished. Mm-hmm. So I don't understand on that aspect. I don't. Mm-hmm. And I do understand Gary Vee talks about it a lot. You gotta block out both, the good and the bad.
Yeah.
What people tells you, you're doing great. Fuck you, you're terrible. You gotta block them out.
It's almost worse. The good you receive is almost worse than the bad, because the good makes you complacent. The bad motivates you. Mm-hmm. When you operate out of other people doubting you, you hit a level that you may have never hit before. Mm. But when everyone's telling you, like, yo, you're doing good, you get comfortable. Yep. And that fucking cripples you. That cripples you. But if motherfuckers are hating on you and they're preying on your downfall and they're hoping you do bad and they're telling you what you're doing isn't enough, if that doesn't motivate you, what will?
But I also feel like, I don't know, maybe it's just the other side of the spectrum that I'm looking at, but, like, I think you could be motivated by positivity. Like, I think I see this. I see it.
I don't see it. I really don't.
I could see it, though. Maybe this is something we'll agree to disagree, but I can see how, yeah. I mean, in my life, the people that told me I wouldn't be anything, I was absolutely motivated by it. But then a part of me wants to believe if the things that people tell you that is positive, how much more, what level that could take you to. Like,
what moved that needle more for you?
Yeah.
What moved the needle more, the doubt or the love?
I mean, I just think, growing up when you're told, not growing up, but like in sports, I think it's a good indicator if you're not playing or you're not seeing minutes or you're on the third string, whatever. Like, that's been my story. I've never, I didn't start on my varsity team until senior year. I didn't see any minutes until senior year. So I was constantly fighting this negative thing. And I'm trying to win the approval of somebody that doesn't know me. They don't know who I am. They don't know the amount of hours that I put in the gym. They don't know how many times I went to the gym that day. They don't know how many shots I put up. They don't know how many drills I went through. And, bro, this was something that 14 to maybe 12 to like 17, 18 years old.
Yeah.
Of this one person, this one coach that I had that never believed in me. Never. but I put in the hours, and my mom, my brother knows me, and they see how many hours I put in to finally.
That's my point. He didn't believe in you.
Yeah.
Imagine he gave you what you wanted at 12 years old. Would you have continued to do those things?
Yeah.
No, you probably would have fizzled out.
But then it believe, like, a part of me believes that, like, yeah, maybe that was a specific time in my life where that positivity wouldn't have worked. But if you're creating a podcast, millions, billions of people are seeing it, that might be a different feeling. We're not talking about sport here. We're not talking about sports and a coach telling you, oh, there's visible evidence. There's evidence if you're affecting billions of people. There's evidence. And there's going to be obviously people that hate on the clips. Oh, whatever, this, that.
Yeah.
You saw it with the John clip. You saw that whole John clip where Jake announced that he was going to be a
pastor. Yeah.
Pastor. Yeah, you saw it. Obviously, there's going to be some people that are going to give you drawback on it.
Yeah.
But they don't know the story, right? But like the positivity, you have affected my life. You changed my life. You saved me from killing myself. All these things. That might be like, I need to keep this going regardless of it. And I understand you don't accept it until you accept it yourself. But I'm saying in this area, in this spectrum of life, that's one of the things that keep me going.
Yeah.
Knowing that people are going to tune into this podcast, whether they're in a 1 hour and 50 minutes in deep into this episode or whatever, how long it's been, there's somebody watching this. There's one person watching this that is going to reach this point.
Yeah.
And I'm motivated by that. I'm motivated now because I've seen both sides of the spectrum of the Tina Knowles, Beyonce's mom, posting one of your videos, to now only seeing like 30 to 40 likes on a post, barely reaching 1,000 views on a post. But I've changed and framed my mind as long as it affects one person,
yeah,
then that's all that matters.
No, I mean, hey, bro, that's a beautiful way to think. I mean, I think a lot of people wish they thought that way, but
what will it take for you? What will it take?
I mean,
we're talking about millions of likes that you've done, like literally in this past month. What will it take?
That's what I'm saying, bro. It doesn't matter if you're not that person. Like if you're not happy, like that's the thing with social media. I mean, bro, you could talk about likes, you could talk about views, you could talk about who you interviewed, you could talk about all the things you've done.
Sure.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's cool. Like, bro, if we're impacting people, absolutely. If we're helping people, I'm all for that. That's why this thing started.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, like, with the relationship with myself, it's like, it doesn't do it. It doesn't do it. I don't know what does. I'm just saying from my perspective, and I'm sure if there's creators that impact people positively and they help people, it feels good. But it's not, it doesn't do what you thought it would do, And maybe the thing that I'm searching for won't do what I think it will do either. Or the thing that I think is going to make me happy, maybe it won't have that effect on me either. And I think that's a scary feeling, but it's also an optimistic feeling. But that's why I just feel like operating out of doubt and fear and this urge to prove people wrong is so important. Because we see it. The kids that got everything handed to them when we were kids in school or in athletics, they didn't amount to shit. The kids that didn't have to work for it, bro, they're fucking losers now. All respect, but they're losers. The kids that got slept on, the kids that got doubted, the kids that didn't make the team, the kids that had everyone against them, they're the ones that are successful now because they're driven by doubt and they want to prove motherfuckers wrong because they know their worth. I think when you're handed life and you're handed the fucking golden ticket and the silver spoon, that is your biggest downfall as a kid. If I had to give my child a certain life, the one with the silver spoon and everything's handed to you and you're the best, or the one that had to work for every single thing he had and had to grind, and everyone doubted him, and he had to deal with hate, and he had to deal with outside noise, and he had to truly go and find himself when no one else believed in him, I would choose that kid over the silver spoon kid every single time. Because you learn so much about yourself when no one believes in you, because you're all you have. You don't need anyone else to believe in you because no one does to fucking begin with. So you have to. If you have everyone telling you how good you are, you get complacent. You lose that sense of work ethic. So if I had to fucking raise a kid, I want to raise the one that's doubted, that is slept on, that no one believes in. Because he's going to find something that no one else could find if it was handed to you. You know? And I think that's what my life was driven on in basketball. I was always slept on. I was always that kid. And I think that's what's going into the podcast, because it's not like, yes, like, bro, I've changed. Maybe I can be harsh on it sometimes and whatever, but I'm still not. I'm just not satisfied because I know there's so much more to be done. And I think that's what drives me. If I was happy with what I've done, if the goal was to get 100 million views and then the podcast is done, the podcast would have stopped like a year ago. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't want to stop the podcast based off of like what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. I just want to continue what I'm doing, but do more because I know I'm capable of more. I think that's all like full circle. That's really what it comes down to. Like, if you know you're capable of more in whatever aspect of your life that it is and you're not doing it, that's why you're unsatisfied. If you really truly give everything all you have and it doesn't work out, or it's not working out the way you planned it, what else do you want? You gave it your all. Then you're being ungrateful. But if you truly gave everything in your body that you have, all your mental capacity, your mental energy, your mental fortitude, I mean, what else do you want? I'm not doing that for the podcast. I'll say that. I've done a lot. I do a lot. I work very hard. But I know when I go to bed, I can do more. Mm-hmm. That's what it really comes down to. If you know you can do more in your life, then what are you doing? That's when the doubt comes in. Because I say I want this. I know I can do more, but I'm not doing more. Why? That's when you look in the mirror and you're like, you're not who you say you are.
What is the point of all this? Of life? What is... As you're somebody who thinks about life a lot, what is the point of this life?
I think it's just to enjoy it and enjoy it with the people you love. Try to experience every emotion. Try to feel every feeling you can have. Try to learn as much as possible. And try to be as present as you can be. And really, really enjoy everything. The good times, the bad times. Because that's all you have, you know? Before we know it, this thing is over. And I'm just trying to do everything I can to get the most out of it. Because our lives are so short. And they feel long, but they're really not. So I think, yeah, man, experience and enjoy as much as you can. And whatever you do, like, be as present as you can be. Because that's all we have.
I don't have anything to add. I think that's thank you again, Zach. This is not going to be the last. It's not going to be the last time that we do this, but
yeah, of course.
One of the favorite episodes that I've shot ever.
Awesome.
I think that I think there was a gear that we tapped into here. Just a space that, you know, I haven't feel like I've spoken on or just experienced or witnessed, and just thank you for everything that you've done. Thank you for everything that you continue to do. The effect that you have on my life as well as other people's.
Mm-hmm.
And I know one day that you'll feel that, and you will embrace that within yourself. And I know that that's probably a battle that may take sooner rather than later, or later rather than sooner. But I just want you to know the gratitude and the appreciation that I have for you, and that's just how you spoke about earlier of like that's how I am. That's just, to me, that's my heart on my sleeve, and I always want to tell people that, is because there's been people that I've known that have passed away, and I never got to have a conversation.
Yeah.
And I always tell people that I love them, and I appreciate them, and you're one of those few. So I just want to say thank you again. Thank you for this conversation. Thank you for just coming on again.
Yeah, of course, bro. Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, this was dope. Yeah, this was a good talk. Yeah, appreciate you, giving me the platform to talk, and stuff like that. It's cool. It's cool to it's a different dynamic than I have on my own podcast, and it's always good to speak to someone new and speak to someone fresh, and you ask good questions, and I think this was really good. So yeah, I hope people got a lot out of this, and yeah, until next time, whenever we run it. I mean, shit, could be fucking next week, could be 3 months from now. Who knows? You know.
I think that's the beauty of it too, is that we always, it's always on the spur of the moment. It's never, it's never this one thing that just happens. It's scheduled. It's just always like, hey, I got some stuff I want to talk about. And, like I said, you're always welcome on the show, and I hope in the future that I could make an appearance again on the Journey podcast. I know that I have a long ways to go.
Yeah, no, for sure, bro.
But
yeah, bro, like once we're just, I mean, you already know what it is,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
Like we're just trying to get fucking sponsors right now. So that's why we're just selective of like who we bring on. But bro, we can run an internal, you know what I'm saying, bro? Yeah, of course, bro. We'll do a bunch.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's what's cool of like where we're going. Like it's not gonna matter who we have on.
Yeah.
It's not gonna matter, So like we could just have like all our boys on and just shoot the shit, and it'll help everyone. So yeah, like bro, yeah, we're getting there.
Yeah. But it's also one more thing. It's also been motivating to know that I still have more work to do, that you guys are at a certain point, and there's a certain level of work that I have to do to get back to that point. And it's been motivating for me. So I just wanted to let you know that as well. But thank you again. Happy dads. Crushed, absolutely crushed. I hope you guys, tune in to this episode, as if you are here this far. Zach, thank you again.
Thank you, brother.